Hello and welcome to the Japanese flavor dev diary for that game they're also incredibly hyped about, Europa Universalis 5. And if you are as hyped as I am, then click the subscribe button. I make 4 or 5 videos a week on this game, and yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time. Anyway, Japanese flavor is the final dev diary that we're getting in this East Asian themed week, Paradox Tinto. And yeah, let's see and hope it is a good one. After a long period of peace under Kamakura Shogunate, the islands of Japan were plunged again into war during the Mongol invasions. That debilitated the authority of the shogun to the point that Yamato Daigo Tenno was able to wrestle control of the country away from him. However, his intentions of restoring imperial rule were not to come to fruition, as his former ally, Shogun Ashikaga Takuji, established a new Japanese shogunate. Now Shogun Ashikaga Takuji rules over the country after Daigo Tenno fled the country and established himself in Yoshino. I don't know where that is. The struggle between central government and the fleeing emperor is far from over. So we have, of course, the shogunate starting panel. This is the main country, the top level that we have. Yeah, so 339 urban locations, 5.3 million pops, 27 tax base, 30,000 manpower, and 25 ships. And as for cultures, 44% Saigoku, Togoku is 26%. I mean, it's fairly balanced, although I will say they are all part of the same culture group, so you will be able to merge all of these into being a unified Japanese culture, if that is what you are looking to do. And almost everyone is, of course, Shinto as well. Lovely stuff. So, the Estates of Japan. We start with 1 government reform, which clearly gives you +1 government reforms, because that's why we have 3 there. The samurai are the nobles, and they have a lot of power, 68%, and already starting with, 9 privileges. The clergy is called the Soryo. They start with 4. Our burghers or chonin have none, and then the nomin have 5 starting privileges, which I think is the most that I've seen so far. I don't think I've seen any country with more than 1 or 2. Anyway, our unique government reform is the shogunate. It gives you cost of appeasing the elites action, minus 30%. That's this pay estate to make them happy button, and this is a big modifier. People weren't happy about the inclusion of this. They thought it was a little bit cheap, a little bit like a win more scenario. But the cost of this button is based both on the income of the estate and your own income. It scales off both of them at the same time, so it is quite expensive. Lowering it by 30%, I feel like is good. It's very good. It's very, very. I mean, that's a big percentage. We also have a little bit more cultural influence, possible government reforms, as we said earlier, and expected cost of court minus 1%. Fair enough. The other clans and the imperial courts have these other ones. So they have Japanese clan, noble estate satisfaction, max tax for noble estate plus 30%. That's quite nice. Monthly army tradition plus 0.1, and also getting an extra government reform. They also have Japanese imperial family. I think this one's for the clans, this one's for the courts. So the court's getting 20% extra crown power, amazing modifier. Noble estate satisfaction equilibrium plus 5. We got maximum tax for nobles plus 30, and a lot more diplomatic reputation. Japanese countries have some common advances, and some of the individual clans also have some unique ones. That's cool. Okay, so if we're looking at unique advances for individual clans, I'm thinking Oda's probably gonna have something. The gloriously based and clearly the objectively correct clan to play with, Shimazu, should hopefully have an advance as well. But anyway, we have Bushido giving 5% extra discipline. What I will say is, I don't know if discipline works exactly like it does in EU4. I don't know for sure. But what I will say is the icon for discipline in EU4 I like more than I like the EU5 one. And it's not just being used to it. It's just, I don't know, this one kind of looks just, it looks more like a worm than a whip. I don't know. Either way, although never actually codified through specific rules, the way a warrior should behave is clear. A warrior's duty is to fight and win in battle, and to expand the glory of its own clan regardless of the methods needed to achieve that. So we have Bushido, and it's talking about never codified, but what if we did codify it? And we had codified Bushido in the age of revolutions, I think that one is? I don't know. Oh yeah, it is. The expected behavior of a warrior is increasingly idolized, with values such as honor and loyalty taking more importance than actual utility in a real battle. This romanticized and codified version of Bushido, however, will certainly improve how our armies are perceived, even if it's not how they actually behave. So we get prestige decay. I mean, do you want discipline or do you want prestige decay? I think it's pretty clear. We also have headhunting. In the age of Renaissance, the achievements of a warrior in battle can only be truly glorious if actually proven. To that effect, samurai will go collecting the decapitated heads of their enemies they felled to present them later to the general. The more numerous and more important the heads that a samurai takes, the better the rewards he will get for that. Sure, why not? Some unique ones to try, we guess who they are for. Ah, yes. I think this one might be for the clan of Tosa. Maybe. Our home province of Tosa is traditionally divided between powerful clans. Oh, maybe I don't know. They're on the little island, so I don't know if there is a clan called Tosa and they're there. Great, or maybe this is just the province, and then all of the ones that in that province get it. I don't know. But anyway, the home province of Tosa is traditionally divided between powerful clans. If we're able to expand any further, we must all join together. They will help us rise up, and in return, we will increase their power. Control of the Isumi Sea, giving trade and maritime advantage. The territories of our clan have been traditionally around the Key Channel. Control of the trade entering the mainland and through there will thus allow us to get great profit from it and flourish immensely. I wonder, because these icons are the same, I wonder if that is specifically where, like, these are for the same people, if they're for the same ones that are on there, or if this is just an icon and we don't get individual, like, this part of Japan is now colored in and this part of Japan is colored in. I don't know. Unlikely Alliances doesn't have one of these, but I assume it is still one of the unique ones, so no idea. If you have any guesses as to what clans these individual guys are for, then let me know in the comment section below. I would like to know as well. Sometimes the best way to defeat an enemy is to make him your friend. Securing our flank through marriage will not only pacify our foes and gain us new allies at the same time, but will ensure that we can ultimately dominate them through blood as well. We also have Uninspiring Clan. I guess this is for anyone that doesn't get a unique one. They can have Uninspiring Clan instead. I think not being unique is good, though. Holy balls. 10% extra army morale. Despite having an ancestral lineage, our clan is apparently not as relevant as our neighbors. Their underestimating of our strength will prove to be their downfall. Okie dokie. And then we have Furin Kazan. Swift like the wind, gentle like the forest, aggressive like fire, immovable like a mountain. The words of the great war master Sun Tzu shall be engraved into our family's name and should become our motto. Monthly army tradition 0.05. Cool. Alright, so let's talk about how the clans behave. Let me start by saying that our recommended country to play in Japan generally is the country of Japan itself. Okay, so the Ashikaga Shogunate. If the recommended way to play Japan is to start unified, seems... I don't know, that seems crazy. Unless it is destined to explode and then you just have to, reunify. Fair enough. The clans, being building-based countries, play quite a bit differently than regular tags, and thus are rather suited to experienced players that want to try a different and more challenging game style. That being said, let's look at how they work. Being building-based countries, they are of course dependent on their buildings. Here are some of them. We have the Shoen, giving trade advantage, trade capacity, a little bit of manpower, and a little bit of gold. Can be built in rural and towns. Got it. Land assigned to be privately owned by a particular family or temple, they operate almost as independent manors or estates, becoming a great source of influence and wealth for their owners. We have the Yamashiro, can recruit regiments there, you get a little bit of manpower and a little bit of money. Built exclusively as defensive positions in case of need, Yamashiro are fortified hilltops with earthworks and wooden palisades. Wait, it doesn't say anything about it being a defensive building, though. There's nothing here about it being defensive. There's no, like, fort level +1, which is a bit weird. The residents of the lords and retainers are at the foot of the hills, using only the fortified structures in case of an attack. Some of the most impressive Yamashiro include fortifications on multiple hilltops, connecting them together by earthworks, corridors, and many layers of palisade fortifications. Next ones are exclusive for the Imperial court countries and the non-Imperial clans, respectively. We have the Gosho, lets you recruit regiments, get a bit of manpower and money. The Imperial residences, called Gosho, are where the Emperor establishes the court and officials. They serve as a focus for Imperial presence and influence. We have the Yakata, giving a bit of gold, originating from the residences of the court nobility. The Yakata are where the power of the warrior families congregates, hosting facilities to gather their retainers, as well as some elements for their defense. They host the best of each clan. Another important building that cannot be built manually, but it will instead be built automatically when a clan is assigned to be a shugo of a province. We have the Kokufu, giving trade advantage, trade capacity, manpower, can build regiments, get some gold. Provincial governorships assigned to rule over the many provinces of Japan. The position gives great power and influence to the family assigned to them. Very nice. As you can see, both their economy and their troops will depend directly on the buildings that they own, so their strategy is to expand their presence by building more of those buildings and also taking the ones owned by other clans in war. Now that we mentioned war, it's time to talk about two civil war situations at the start of the game. Or in the game, sorry. Start with the Nanbokchuo Jidai, a situation that starts just at the beginning of the game. Initially, all countries are all assigned to support either the northern or the southern court, depending on their historical alliances. But when the situation starts, countries will get the following event. Times of uncertainty are upon us, as the Imperial line is divided. Both Yamato Komyo Tenno of the Jimjoen line in Kyoto, and Yamato Go Daigo Tenno of the Daikakuji line in Yoshino, claim to be the rightful rulers of the Chrysanthemum throne. Ever since Yamato, this guy, fled from Shogun Ashikaga and secluded himself in Yoshino, he's been a thorn in the side of the Japanese shogunate authority. So you can stand firm in the position, or not commit, or choose the other guy. Fair enough. With this, the clans will be able to choose to switch loyalties or even declare neutrality, although for obvious reasons neither of the two courts nor the shogunate are able to change their allegiances. The whole country will thus be divided into sides in the Nanbokucho Jidai. Either it actually starts on the 1st of April, like the literal first day of the game, or this has just been fired. It says it's at the beginning of the game, but is that like, after a month tick, or I don't know, whatever. So you can change sides if you want, or you can declare neutrality after the fact. And we have here lots of flags of countries. I have absolutely no way of knowing who is what. So this is the Shimazu flag. There's lots of colors here. And I don't know, I mean, which one is green, purple, the white on green, green on white. So I don't see them. Where I don't even see anyone with a I can't tell where my beautiful Shimazu is going to join. Sadness. Either way. Oh wait, no, we can see they're in the yellow camp because they start like down here. Even after the situation has started, all countries can choose to change their loyalty, not only via the actions in the situation panel, but also through events that will fire during the situation that allow for that. Besides that, there will also be other events firing with options of getting Casus Belli or even declaring wars, making it so that chaos is ensured. One important thing to note is that as long as the Nanbokucho Jidai situation is alive, or active, countries will not be able to declare war on others supporting the same side as them. If you want to attack another clan that is supporting the same side as you, you'll have to do it if after the situation is resolved, or choose to change your loyalty, of course. To end the situation, one of the two courts must be forced to disappear. Through a special peace treaty, force Imperial abdication. So, we just had a civil war. What about a second one? Whether the Nanbokucho Jidai situation resolves successfully or not, an even bigger civil war will still be looming. The Sengoku Jidai situation can happen after 1400, or if there is no shogun, or if the shogun is in a weak position, low legitimacy or stability, or with rebellion problems, or if there are more than 6 wars currently active among the clans. I feel like this is There's 149 clans or something like that. There's so gonna be more than 6 wars currently active. There just is. As such, a strong shogunate will be able to avoid falling into it if they manage to keep their children in check. Yeah, good luck. A player is going to declare 6 wars simultaneously on their own just to fire this, if they are playing as one of the clans. Once it starts, the stronger and bigger clans will automatically transform into landed daimyo, with the rest receiving an event with the option to also become landed at the cost of opinion with the shogunate. That's cool. That is very, very cool. The shogun has proved to be unable to manage the clans. The gradual lenience and delegation of authority towards the local rulers has become his downfall, and the many conflicts that have been brewing for centuries are now in the open. Virtually independent from any central authority, many daimyo rule supreme in their own domains. We cannot fall behind, lest we risk being extinguished by the flames of war that will soon engulf the whole country. Alright. Here's the deal. Here's the situation. Here's what I want to do. Game comes out. Everyone plays for a bit, gets to know what's going on, gets a little bit of understanding of the mechanics and all that kind of stuff. And then, multiplayer game. Everyone chooses a clan. That's it. That's the whole thing. Anyway, becoming landed will have many consequences. For once, all locations in the shogunate in which they have a presence with their buildings will become owned by them, and they will receive a new government reform replacing the Japanese clan one. They have daimyo. Noble levy size plus 100. That's crazy. Monthly army tradition and an extra probable government reform. Very nice. Being given local control over their clan territory, Japanese daimyo are powerful feudal lords able to recruit their own armies and collect their own taxes. The most powerful of them are even able to defy the central authority of the shogun. Going back to my multiplayer idea, you could even have somebody play the main shogun guy. Because there is no way that a shogun is going to prevent this Sengoku Jidai from firing if there are a bunch of players as clans, because this is one of the requirements for it to fire. That's just going to happen. Like, the players will make that happen. Either way. Even if a country does not choose to become landed in this event, they may have the option to do so in the future, both via further events that fire during the situation, and also directly through the Proclaim Independence in the Situation panel. Nice. Very, very cool. We have here increment recruitment. We don't know what that is. Offer and ask for hostages. Prove heritages. Don't know what any of those are. The actions available in the panel are slightly different for the shogun, giving extra tools to control the many clans, both the ones that have been already landed and those that are still as building-based countries, so revoking land, limit their authority, summon them to court, increment the recruitment, hostages as well, and prove heritage. The objective of the shogun will thus be to curb the autonomy of the clans, while the objective of any clan would be to gain sufficient power to either become the shogun themselves or to destroy the shogunate entirely. The situation will end when there is only a single country in the shogunate, with the exception of being allowing for the presence of a building-based emperor, or when the shogun has managed to reduce all other clans to just a single location building-based country. That is really freaking cool. That is a... I'm actually really happy with that. That is a whole different type of game within the game. I think playing as a shogun itself is going to be super fun. Playing as a clan, becoming the shogun, and then you still have to do this. Like, instead of, like, the way that you formed Japan in EU4 as say, I want to play as, just for example, Shimazu. It is still a conquest-based campaign, or you can become the shogun and then annex the other vassals. Here, though, what we need to do is reduce all of the clans back down to being a single location, having everything but the emperor. It's just, this is so cool. This is such a different way to play. This is a different, like, it's not just, you're playing a grand strategy game, go conquer things. Like, this is way different. You don't have to conquer because you still, like, it is your country still. I'm super, super happy with all of this. That is so, so cool. Like, will I be able to, in a peace deal with a daimyo, be able to reduce him back to being a building-based country? Like, if they have land, because they, I mean, is this it? Revoke land, and if you revoke their last province, they become a building-based country again? Or do they just die at that point if they lose their land? Because I kind of want to make them be back into building-based countries. Shogun has reduced all of the clans to being a single location building-based country, but is this reducing a daimyo, or is it reducing somebody who stayed as a building-based country the whole time? I don't know. I don't know. But either way, like, either of those options, really, really cool mechanics there. I like it a lot. As with the Nanbokucho, it's so hard to pronounce that for me. Nanbokucho Jedi, there will be some events firing during the situation, giving countries the option to gain Casus Belli, declare wars, etc. But also some event chains of interaction between the Shogun and the clans when the former uses the action Summon to Court. That's all for today. With almost 150 countries in the Shogunate, there's much more to unpack in the game, but this is as far as we can show here. Extra treat, because many of you asked about it, here's an updated view of the terrain map for Japan with the special effect of cherry blossoms during the spring. I love it so much. It's gorgeous. But Shimazu's down here, and that's where I care about. I also quite like the new and improved height map. Much more mountainous than it was previously. Much more mountainous than it was previously. I'm a big fan of that. I do think some of the grass textures, it's a little bit samey across the map. So maybe that could be looked into, but that's not height map situation stuff. That is, I guess, just texture detail, maybe. But yeah, other than that, I am a massive fan of what we have. We don't know what we're getting next week, but Pavi will be back to tell us all about it. But now, we also have a few of the developer comments to go over. Some very interesting stuff in here. So, will the Japanese have some way of keeping the Imperial dynasty around? Like, if the papacy is destroyed, it gets recreated elsewhere. Can you do that with the Imperial courts? If it is destroyed then completely, then no, they will be gone. It's a shame. With the length of Japanese Imperial families being around, the fact they've never gotten rid of it, it'd be neat to have some mechanic that disincentivizes removing them. There is something implemented to help them survive, but if a player wants to destroy them, they will be able to, which I guess is fair enough. What happens if both of the courts are destroyed in a war? There are limitations to avoid it. That's good to know. Does the Shogun have a special CB that turns other landed daimyos back into being building-based countries? Yes, so that answers the question that I had for you, like, a minute ago. That's fantastic. Is the Emperor gameplay fun? Or is it here more to give something to represent the balance of power in Japan, but not thought to be played itself, etc., etc.? So the Imperial courts have the same tools and opportunities as the rest of the clans, so they can become landed, and they can try to unify the country. The incidents, though, are not present as such, as that mechanic is gone, but they're still represented in some other ways, like the various incidents that we have in Shinto Faith in EU4. So those are represented, I guess, probably via dynamic historical events and chains and stuff. But we don't get the incidents as they are in EU4. Do famous characters from the Sengoku Jidai appear? The three unifiers, etc. So there are events for Sen no Rikyu, the tea ceremony and the temples. For the famous characters of the Sengoku, there are no events specifically for them right now, as it would take too much to railroad the history for that, which I'm glad in that way. I don't really want to be railroaded at all. There are some references to them, I guess, in events and such, which I think is fine. What happens if the Southern Court wins? It should have consequences for the power of the Shogun, at least. Will it destroy the Shogunate and put the Emperor in power? Will it just weaken the authority? Blah, blah, blah. Currently, there is no difference, but Roger would like to add something special for the Southern Court eventually. That would be nice to see. How does it work if two clans have buildings in the same location, both converge to owning locations? Is there a tiebreaker value or is it random? Right now it's random, although they require quite a bit of locations to be landed. So you're not going to have just like people with complete overlap and one just happens to live and the other dies in that regard. So yeah, we're happy there, I think. Though it would be kind of nasty if you as Shimazu built specifically in places that you knew were going to be very good locations to own, and then just randomly you don't acquire those locations. Like, I can see people getting kind of frustrated about that, reloading to the month before they become landed just to try and be the one to get the specific locations they want. I can see this being frustrating. Maybe that needs to be looked at. Is the Oda clan payable? Yes, they are. If I remember rightly, they are one of the countries that you can't see on the map because they're, like, beneath another clan at the same time. If I remember correctly, that is. I'm not sure. Is there any content for the rise of the peasant leagues like Iga Iki or Koka Iki? Not right now, though it's in his notes and he wants to add something for them eventually. Cool. Please tell me the manpower addition still takes pops into account when a manpower used soldier dies, a pop dies too. Yes, that happens. Is there anything for Christianization attempts? Yes, as well. I think this is something that people have been really hammering on, not liking, free manpower? I can't believe you're doing that. Manpower button, that's crazy. No, please don't do that. But, again, manpower that you see at the top of your screen isn't pops yet. When you use that manpower to build a soldier or reinforce a soldier, that's when it becomes a pop. And then when that soldier dies, that's when you lose that pop. It just being there isn't the important factor, which is why, personally, I'm okay with click button get manpower from Islam and from the Shinto faith. It's because that's not a pop yet. It's a pop when it gets used, either to reinforce or to create. That's the important thing for me. So, yes, that's fine for me. Will the country be called the Japanese Empire if imperial power is restored? Yes, it will. How does war between building-based countries work? They are entirely relying on armies. You can siege the location where they have buildings if you're also at war with the owner of the location. So, yeah, it's a little bit awkward. It's just pure battles, no sieges whatsoever. I think certain people are going to be very, very happy with that. The people who are very anti-siege, I guess. Though I imagine if you are a building-based country and you are much more powerful than your opponent, who is also a building-based country, and it's just a 1v1, it might just turn into a game of chicken. It might just turn into that. Is there an event for the creation of Tokugawa clan and Ieyasu? Not right now. That is unfortunate, because I don't know a massive amount of, the... say lore. It's not lore, it's history. Real life lore is a channel, right? I don't know a huge amount, but Tokugawa I've heard of, and Ieyasu I've heard of. Like, 100%. Also, this is an interesting comment. Oh, he's got the comparisons. I like it. Okay. This is the... Oh, no, it's not a comparison. He's just recolored it to be more like what he likes. Whatever. Don't care. Does the map color of the tag in Japan dynamically change to the map color of the Daimyo? For example, if the Shimazu clan, Shimazu represent, becomes the Shogun, does Japan's map color become purple? So, the map color is the color of the country, so unless they take away the territory from Ashikaga, then no. This was a confusing answer. So Matt said, I don't understand the answer. The map color of what country exactly? The country winning the Sengoku and unifying Japan will keep its own color, also its own name, and its flag. I mean, okay, but I kind of want to form the country of Japan as Shimazu and be purple. Is that possible? Because I kind of want to do that. I don't want to just be fat Shimazu, right? I want to be able to rename myself to Japan. I want to, as Shimazu, form Japan. It should be a formable. Is that a thing? Can we do that? Anyway, finally, asking about a condition for ending their situation. There is situated in Japan ends when there's only a single country in the shogunate, or when the shogun has managed to reduce all of the clans, etc., etc. Historically, though, the daimyo under Oda Toyotomi regimes and the various domains etc. They continue to exist as countries with vast territories and a certain degree of autonomy, etc., etc. Reflecting it, can we make suggestions? Essentially, they're now going to be able to be vassals, right? That situation will end if they are vassals, or they don't exist, or they're reduced to building-based countries with only one building. That's it, though. That's Japan. And my question to you guys is, are you excited to play as Japan? And especially, what part of Japan? What specific element of Japan are you most interested in playing? Is it going to be the Shogun, Ashikaga Shogunate? At the very start of the game, they own all of Japan. Are you going to try and prevent the Sengoku Jitai? Or are you going to play through the Sengoku Jitai because that sounds fun? Secondly, do you want to play as the Imperial Courts? Thirdly, do you want to play as one of the Shogu, the Daimyo that have more power? Or do you want to play as one of the basic clans? There are so many options from what looks like on the map to be a single solid unified country, but there are so many layers to it. Clearly, Japan, it's really, just like Shrek. They're really like onions, really, Either way, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, click the subscribe button, click the like button, leave me your comments in the comment section below, and I will see you guys on probably Monday, though what for, we don't know. See you then. Bye-bye.